Electromagnetic pulse, better known as EMP, designed for disabling enemy electronics, is back once again in Call of Duty, and this time around it arrives in the form of a field upgrade known as DDOS.
Activating EMP.
A confusing and misunderstood piece of equipment which is often overlooked simply because most of us don't really understand how it works. In today's video, I'll break down all the details, revealing exactly how the DDoS affects enemy electronics. I'll reveal its effective range and coverage area, as well as some tips and tricks to help you get the most benefit from what is arguably the most misunderstood field upgrade in Modern Warfare 2. The in-game description tells us that the DDoS activates a device that deactivates electronics and disrupts enemy sensors in the immediate area for a short time. We'll begin by analyzing exactly how the DDoS interferes with enemy electronic equipment. To demonstrate the DDoS's EMP effect, we'll use the Claymore, which uses an electronic laser to detect the presence of enemies and trigger its detonation. Activating a DDoS will disable the Claymore's lasers and prevent detonation for a period of 6 seconds, after which the equipment will reactivate and resume normal operation. It's worth noting that any items placed after the DDoS's EMP pulse has already occurred won't be affected. As you can see here, a Claymore which is placed immediately after a DDoS activation will function normally. The DDoS's area of effect is quite strange. The jamming area is rectangular in shape and extends 25 meters directly in front of you and to a seemingly unlimited range to the sides. Enemy equipment behind you or outside of this area won't be affected. This can be observed in Modern Warfare 2 by looking at the DDoS's equipment detection display, which indicates the number of enemy electronic devices within range. As we can see here, if an enemy Claymore is beyond 25 meters away, it won't be affected. But by turning sideways, we can take advantage of the unlimited lateral range and disable the Claymore. We can observe the extensive lateral range of the DDoS on the map Tarak. A Claymore placed on the opposite corner of the map, about 140 meters away, can be disabled by turning to the side before activating the DDoS. As a result, you'll get the most benefit from the DDoS by rotating your character model until you see the greatest number of items affected before activating the DDoS. Unfortunately, in Warzone, we don't get the benefit of the equipment detection display. However, the DDoS can still be quite beneficial when pushing buildings as an awareness tool for detecting enemies and disabling enemy defensive equipment. In addition to disabling electronic equipment, the DDoS will also affect players directly by scrambling all elements of the enemy HUD. This includes the minimap and the compass, as well as score streak status and weapon information. This effect also lasts for 6 seconds. It doesn't completely distort the HUD, but does make it slightly more difficult to read. What's unusual is that the DDoS's HUD scrambling effective area is completely different than that of the DDoS's equipment jamming area. The HUD scrambling effect will function within a 12-meter circular radius of the DDoS device and will move with the holder of the device. To demonstrate this, the enemy will activate a DDoS and it will only scramble our HUD while we're within 12 meters of the enemy. The DDoS is effective on some, but not all pieces of lethal equipment. In addition to the Claymore, the DDoS is also effective against the proximity mine, and during the 6-second deactivation period, the proximity mine won't detect an enemy presence. The DDoS will also prevent remote detonation of the C4 during the 6-second EMP effect. Surprisingly, the Semtex delay timer as well as the drill charge are both unaffected by the DDoS and will continue to function normally during the DDoS attack. Of course, the remaining lethal equipment, such as the frag, Molotov, and the throwing knife, are mechanical in nature, and as a result are unaffected by the DDoS's EMP effect. Against tacticals, the DDoS is only effective against a few items. If timed perfectly, the DDoS will fully counter the snapshot grenade, and position information won't be revealed to the enemy. The heartbeat sensor is also fully countered by the DDoS, but only within the 12-meter HUD scrambling range. As you can see here, beyond 12 meters, the heartbeat sensor will function normally. The spotter scope will also be affected by the DDoS's HUD Scrambling Effect. This effect isn't very strong, and the spotter scope is still quite usable even when scrambled by the DDoS. All the remaining pieces of tactical equipment are unaffected by the DDoS. Even the shock stick, which produces electrical current, remains fully operational during a DDoS attack. When it comes to field upgrades, the DDoS produces some unusual results. The DDoS will disable several items, including the trophy system, which won't respond to thrown equipment. The DDoS also fully counters the tactical camera, the portable radar, as well as the suppression mine. The munitions crate and tactical insertion respond in a unique way to the DDoS. They aren't disabled, but instead are completely destroyed by the DDoS attack. The recon drone appears to be bugged, and even though you get a notification that the drone has been disabled, it continues to function normally. All of the remaining field upgrades are generally not electronic in nature, and as a result are unaffected by the DDoS pulse. Against Killstreaks, the DDoS provides various levels of effectiveness. When deployed against the sentry turret, the DDoS functions as expected and disables the sentry gun for a period of 6 seconds. The DDoS will also disable the cluster mine and provide safe passage during the 6-second deactivation period. The bomb drone responds in a similar way to the recon drone, and even though you receive a disabled notification, the bomb drone remains fully functional. Surprisingly, the Wheelson is also completely immune to the DDoS's disabling effect and remains fully functional during a DDoS attack. The remaining Killstreaks are all unaffected by the DDoS. Even the low-flying airborne streaks, such as the VTOL and the Overwatch Helo, continue to operate normally after being exposed to the DDoS pulse. Regardless of whether or not the DDoS is behaving as intended or is in fact bugged, when compared to the other more useful field upgrades, such as Dead Silence and the Munitions Crate, the DDoS feels incredibly weak. A simple fix would be to increase the power of the DDoS. An EMP pulse, which could destroy lethal and tactical equipment, combined with a much stronger HUD scrambling effect, which would render the HUD essentially useless, would provide a significant benefit, and at least make it somewhat viable when compared to the remaining field upgrades. Of course, this is all just my opinion, and now I'd like to hear from you guys. Is the DDoS viable as is, or does it need a buff? Let me know all your thoughts in the comments section down below. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys on the next one.